Sorry, I just like the intro music. So how's everybody doing? It's Saturday. It's been a while since I've streamed. It's early. And there's some exciting stuff going on. This morning, I woke up to my inbox. I've been out. I've been out of pocket. I've been doing things different. I've been laying low, been playing a lot of video games, and trying not to oversaturate myself with the leaks and the spoilers and the fun stuff ensuing. But I mean, there's some big news that happened last night. And I'm just going to jump right into it. So I'm going to share my screen. We got a little bit of news last night about a new casting that happened. So it seems like, let's see, I'm going to share, let's see, that screen. Okay. So let me drag it over. So it seems like last night we got a new casting for the Ahsoka Show. And it seems like, let's see, where do we want to put that? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So what it appears is that one of the House of Dragons kids, one of the Targaryens, is going to be playing young Ahsoka Tano. So I know I give these things too early away, and I know I should do more later in the stream. I don't care about the rules of YouTube. I don't care about your rules. I don't care about your standards and practices about how to grow. I don't care. I'm excited about this, so we're going to jump into it. We're going to talk about it. So Savannah Steyn played one of the Targaryens in House of Dragons, and here is her IMDb page. Ironically enough, her first film in 2016 was called Fulcrum. How funny is that? I mean, irony there, right? Just a little bit. So she's had a short career. Most of it was during COVID. So 2020, 21, 22, she did 3 movies. But it seems like she did, you know, a couple of more, I don't know, B-list movies, let's call it. A couple of TV shows. And then she hits as Lady Rhaenyra Velaryon in House of the Dragon. This is fascinating. That, I mean, I think she really fits the bill as far as looking a lot like Rosario, right? So she's got that same nose. She's got that same look. And honestly, her posture in her IMDb picture is pretty spot on to the posture of a young Ahsoka Tano, a confident young Ahsoka Tano. So, yeah, I'm really excited. I woke up to this in my inbox and I was just blown away at the casting because I had heard leaks and I'd heard rumor. Oh, look, from the gutter. Oh, there he is.
I'm awake. What is it? I'm awake.
It's early. It's early. I know. It's early. I mean, it's Saturday morning. Everybody's probably sleeping. That's okay. But yeah, big news coming out of Star Wars today. It's fun.
So we have an actual casting.
Yes. So the leaks came out. The leaks have been coming out about storyline for this show. And basically, we're going to be seeing some flashbacks. We're going to be seeing Ahsoka and Anakin together. You can't have a full-grown Rosario playing that part in live action.
Right.
So they cast the girl from House of Dragons.
Oh,
she was one of the Valerians. Here's a photo.
Yeah, she was great. She's the
one who killed herself. Yeah, she rode Vagar.
Yeah,
and she's the one who lost the baby, and Vagar Dracarys her
Sure.
ass.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really great. She did a great job in House of Dragon. Her time is up there because she killed herself. So it's not like she's trying to occupy two spaces at the same time. She's got the look, man. I'm excited.
Do we have like a synopsis of what the show's supposed to be about? Because I'm completely in the dark.
Well, apparently, from what I've gathered, just in the little stuff, the little information that I've gathered is that this is going to be a large world between worlds kind of thing. And I guess the ending synopsis is no matter what Ahsoka does, her fate is sealed. Right. So supposedly there's going to be a what if. So I guess Ahsoka will be looking through the world between worlds, similar to what Ezra did. And she's going to be viewing the what if she had gone to Mustafar, rejoined the Jedi Council. Anakin goes bad. They send her instead of Kenobi to bring Anakin back or to handle him. And so that's why this young lady has been cast, because she is going to be doing all the Ahsoka flashbacks.
So yeah, I briefly talked about this last night. I feel like if it's under the guise of what if, like, cool, whatever, let's do it for sure.
Yeah, but it's more for her than us, I think, because she and like I said, I don't know if this is the stuff inside of the temple. This is the stuff I've been talking about for a long time with Ahsoka, is the missing time, the missing years, where she was in the temple by herself. Is this during that time, right? But she was older then, so I want to say no. So I don't know if it's Rosario in the Sith temple on Malachor looking into a world between worlds there, and the triangle one that we see in Rebels, where Ezra pulls her out of. We don't know if she gets to look through that one,
right,
when she's in that temple, which would be really fucking cool for me.
Because I know you're excited about it, bro.
Well, that's the shit I've been talking about for a couple years, right? Because that's the stuff that no one knows about, right? That's the stuff where Filoni kind of left it. Is she dead? Is she alive? Before we found out in Rebels, right? So there's a lot there, and I'm really excited. And this girl is a fantastic actress. And
she's got the ability to be agile too. If we're getting like because if Hayden's gonna be there and we're gonna get some Clone Wars stuff, I hope to see some legit saber combat, because it's been way too long.
Well, apparently, Hayden had to go back to training for this.
Good.
Like, apparently, he had to go back, and it's been 20 years since Duel of the Fates, right? It's been 20 years since he did all this. He's slower. Right, so he's got to get back in that form. They got to teach her how to use two sabers, right? Like, this is really cool, because she has to go through the same kind of training Rosario went through, and that's hard.
It'd be kind of dope to see like a almost a battle of heroes, but it is Christensen and Ahsoka going at it.
It's going to be the same scenes on Mustafar. I actually put a thumbnail together for it because I was kind of bored. And I was like, oh man, do I want to cover this? I kind of don't want to cover this. I was like, I've been kind of in a little bit of a slump lately. I'm like,
that's what we were just talking about yesterday. Like, man, I don't even feel it. I saw you go live. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I was like, do I get into it? So here's what I did last night. And I was like, just messing around, having a good time. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a younger thing, because this is what I was toying with last night. And then I saw the announcement. I'm like, oh, I got to change this thumbnail now.
Yeah.
So I just cut Kenobi out of this.
They better de-age him. They're gonna have to.
They got to do a better job. I think they caught so much shit. See, this is basically what I did. I just replaced him with her.
What's up, Derpy? What's up, Eli?
So yeah, this is good, man. This is good for. And I was saying before you got here, her first short was called Fulcrum. Like, how ironic is that?
Oh, that's interesting.
How ironic comedy is that? Like, oh, that's just hilarious. So I'm a big fan of this woman, Savannah. She's from London. She's a UK actress. Obviously, she fit the Targaryen mold. splendidly. I'm curious to hear what her accent sounds like, in that Ahsoka. Because we're used to a young Ahsoka with Ashley's voice, so it's going to be a little off-putting to the sweaties, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just like anything, when you bring it to live action, I mean, look at what happened. You remember the Grand Inquisitor debacle?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And that's the tough part, is that it's such a challenge taking some characters from live action or from cartoon to live action. It's really difficult. It's not an easy thing. They could do it better. I hope they do it better. Especially with young Ahsoka. And I feel like it's Dave's show. So everybody's been commenting that, well, every time Ahsoka shows up, everything's perfect. Like the sets look great and the artwork looks great and she looks great and everything's great. And it's like, man, the amount of time it must take to put that together is also like, he's got the best crew on that show, I guarantee.
Yeah, I saw some of them at Disneyland.
Yeah.
They were walking around with their set design and sound design, like jackets and everything. I wanted to walk up to him, but I was with my family. I'm like, I better not do that.
Yeah. It's tough when you're like in real life and you're like, ooh, let me get my phone out. Like, somebody shoot this shit. This shit gonna blow up. Well, and it's funny because I was on the Disney lot the day that Iger took over.
Oh, how was that?
Right. And it was like, I didn't even, it wasn't even a thing on set. Nobody knew, man. Nobody knew it was coming except for the upper management. Because it was all the people that I know in Disney were like, where did that come from?
Yeah, it was real turn of the hat. I mean, it was quick.
But I mean, sometimes you need that stuff. You need a shake up. And I feel like this is a great example of that. Like, this show is not going in the direction anybody had thought. Nobody thought that they were going to do, the stuff that they're doing, the World Between Worlds stuff. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of it, but
the Mystic.
No, I just don't want them to. I don't want them to have an opportunity to marvel this shit.
Yeah, and that's a big concern, dude. I mean, that's a big old can of worms, buddy. World Between Worlds is a big old can of worms.
It's just dangerous. Like, they used it perfectly in Rebels as a teaching tool for Ezra, as a how powerful the Emperor is, and the might of the dark side, and showing the resurrection of Ahsoka. Great, right? You used it for what it was for, but I just don't want it. And then they left it, and now they're bringing it back. And I figure good hands to have it in, because Dave's writing it and Dave's directing it, and this is Dave's thing. But I feel like it's a slippery slope that we could fall down to, because the next writer could be like, well, you used the World Between Worlds once, we should do it again. And it's like, no, I don't want the what ifs. I like the idea of Ahsoka looking into a World Between Worlds portal and seeing her, like, if they put Rosario on one side of a mirror and Savannah on the other, and show her young, and then like Anakin's in the background on Mustafar, like, that'll slap. That'll move, right? But if they just, that'll be amazing, because she's like, oh, what if I had been there, right? And that's what the World Between Worlds should be for. It's a learning tool. It's not supposed to change the universe. It's not supposed to have a multiversal effect, right? That's where I'm worried.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is, like, I think the show has the potential to make some prequel fans happy. It has the potential to, because I feel like they've been picking certain projects to make certain groups of the fan base happy, right? Like, you got your Visions for your anime people. They did Mando was kind of the new thing, and then obviously Andor was supposed to be geared more towards kind of the older, original trilogy crowd. I don't want to talk about Kenobi, but
well, I mean, I think Kenobi, Kenobi had its moments. Boba had its moments of obscurity, but I feel like in the long run, what I'm hearing about Skeleton Crew, and what I'm hearing about all these other shows that are, everybody's thinking they're this and that, and then they're giving us legit synopsis of it. Things are not what everybody thought they were going to be, and I think that Boba, unfortunately, I think the first season of Boba didn't put him in the best light character wise, and I think it's an arc that they could resurrect and fix, that they not fix, but make it make sense a little more.
Yeah,
right. They really had a hard time with some of these shows, as far as making them make sense, like finishing the thought, I guess.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, great idea for Boba Fett, right? Like he's older, all these
I'm,
different
I'm
concepts.
tired of
Totally,
fighting,
yeah,
right?
totally get it. Totally get it.
I want
Execution
some
didn't
money,
work.
right? Like I want some real money, right? Like I want some
Yeah.
real power. That's what it seemed like. And then they turned it into, like, I don't know, they turned it into something it wasn't for
Benny
some
Hill.
reason, and like I said, I think with Mando, they have a chance to finish the story, right?
You think
And
they're gonna do that in Mando 3?
yeah, I think all the Mandalorians have to show up.
Well,
Every-
yeah, but I
every
mean,
Mandalorian.
rehashing the Boba Fett story.
No, but I think they're going to. I think they could. I don't think they finished it. It felt to me like a very unfinished piece of art.
100%.
Right? Like they left it like, oh, I don't know if this is what I want to be. Like, fuck that. You finished the story, bro. Like, I'm a little.
Okay, guys, we beat the Pikes. Like, I guess we're done. Are we done? I don't really know.
Yay, we survived, right? Like
Yeah.
that shouldn't be the ending credits, right? Like the ending credits should be high fives, getting medals, or eating a feast and celebrating, not like, yay, okay, it's over in the middle of the street. Like it just felt like very unfinished. And aside from the way that other people feel, and I feel like all of these stories, like I've said, are going to coalesce, and we're going to get that multiverse, not the multiverse. We're going to get the cinematic moment.
Cinematic,
yeah. We're going to get the war, right? The war for Mandalore. I think that's what I think is coming. I think it's the biggest thing out there, and it seems like that's what they're pressing. But Ahsoka's got to show up. Luke's got to show up. Boba's got to show up. Everybody's going to show up for this cinematic.
Mando stands there, and you hear, on your left.
Yeah.
Boba comes out.
It would be cool. Like, there's so much weird shit going on in Star Wars right now. It's not just like, this show or that show. It's weird across the board right now because Jedi Survivor is throwing a wrench here that we don't really know what direction that's going, but then all of these shows are coming out at the same time.
Yeah.
So like you got Survivor at the same time just after Bad Batch, and then Ahsoka just after, Mando after that. And it's just like this tier of Star Wars is just going to be like bah, 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 all the way down until summer. And this show seems to have the most air in its sails.
You think more than Mando?
Yeah, dude. I think the hype train on this.
You think there's some personal bias there?
No, I think Mando's in the 3rd season. I think that's a big part of it. Is the fandom has grown attached already. They don't have to promote as much. They don't have to do as much. Everybody already loves it.
Yeah.
So show us a trailer or two, smack us on the butt, and say get to work. Right? Like they don't need to do any of that. But Ahsoka, they got to build because not everybody knows this story.
Yeah.
Right. Not everybody has watched Rebels. Not everybody watched Clone Wars. Not everybody was into the animation. So this is a completely different character that they've introduced twice in the whole time of this new arc. And everybody's like, who is this colorful lady?
Yeah.
Right. And then we're hearing that there might be connections to Skeleton Crew with the Night Sister. I can't remember her name. Bruce Lee's daughter that played the Thrawn's junkie in the end of Mando. In the name off the top of my head, but they're saying that she might be involved with Skeleton Crew because that's supposed to be about the Night Sisters, and there's a whole nother thing we didn't see coming. Like that's a Night Sister show about the exiles of the Night Sister. Like it's crazy. Are we going to see Mira in Jedi Survivor? Like there's so much in the air with all these different flavors of Star Wars. And like you were saying, it seems like they're trying to attach different groups and bring them and fish them in, I guess. They're throwing out bait and they're reeling everybody in.
Yeah.
Getting ready for this big thing. Right. And that's kind of what I think this is about. I mean, it's a tough sell, man. Let's see, man. Well, and the Grogu thing kind of pissed people off too. Like Grogu coming back and just getting spit out of an X-Wing was kind of like, whoa, you're not even going to escort the little dude back? Like,
so dumb.
What if he gets in trouble, right? Like, I know he's got the droid with the highest kill count of all with him, but It just seems a little like, oh, I came to get you, and like, oh, you're not going to train R2, take him home. Just take him home, right?
Get this thing out of my sight.
It's a little. I didn't like the ending of those.
Unceremonious is the word there for sure.
Yeah, it just seemed like they kind of phoned it in there. So I feel like with this show, there's no phoning in. They it kind of like Kenobi. They got some right, they got some not right. But this show, that I think they kind of have to. Dave's involved. It's gonna go great, dude. Dave's involved.
Yeah, I mean, I don't view him as much as a deity as I think a lot of other people do when it comes to Star Wars content. A lot of people feel like he is the next George Lucas, and obviously, he spent a lot of time with George, so I think a lot of it rubs off on him. But at the same time, he is very set in the way that he wants things done. And he's always going to prioritize the Western and the samurai film, right? So I think this is going to be heavy samurai feel, because that's just what Dave does.
Well, and unfortunately,
he's Ronin, right?
He's not. George had an interesting way of taking the three together and mashing them into a symphony.
Yeah.
Right. And the Clone Wars had that because that was still part of George's legacy, and that was still written. A lot of those stories are written by George, but it seems like, now Mando is starting to cross a little bit with the two, just because, he found the Darksaber. He's got to learn how to do that thing. It gives you that Jedi feel again, sort of, so to speak. And then with this, I mean, with the Ahsoka show, you kind of have to go full samurai, right? You got to go full Ronin. She is a samurai without a master, right? Her master is the Force, right? Almost. And I kind of hope in this show we get to see Savannah meet the Bendu, right? Like, for me, cool. That would be a super cool arc that Dave didn't get to show in Rebels, that he had written and drawn and had artwork for and had conversations and dialogue written that they didn't use. I would love to see a moment like that, and him not just show up on Lothal. I would love to see him show up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Not just Lothal, not just a bush on Lothal, but like be something in the background on Mustafar, or, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to see him somewhere else, Malachor, anywhere. Just come in as a phantom, leave as a phantom, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious if we're going to get to see or hear maybe some Yoda in some of those flashback moments. Is Yoda going to be the one telling her, you go handle, bring Anakin back, basically. Do what you must. Almost like an Obi-Wan saying that, like Yoda telling her, bring him back if you can. And then Obi-Wan kind of being like, but, do what you must. Kind of like he said in his line, I'll do what I must. It would be interesting to see I want to see how they send her on that mission. Right? Because Kenobi was like, I can't do it. Is she going to be like, I'll take care of it?
Yeah.
Because she's that cocky when we last see her, right?
Well, I mean, she does it too. I mean, she's like, nah, you're not gone yet. She does the Luke with him. She does the first attempt to bring him back to the light. So I think that's how they do it. It's not like, hey, go kill him. She's like, I'm going to bring him back. This ain't Sky Guy. I got this.
Right. And is that same conversation going to happen with Ahsoka versus Kenobi, right? Because you know what I mean? Like, is it like big brother versus little sister, right? Like, who are you most likely to listen to if you're the middle child, which is what Anakin really is in this little trio.
Yeah.
Big brother's Kenobi, who taught him everything, who he kind of resents a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then my little sister, who I taught everything to, who's amazing. Like, I'll tell Kenobi to fuck off, but will I tell Ahsoka to fuck off? Right? Like, is the pull that strong? Right? Like, can she have those conversations being a better friend to Padme than Obi-Wan ever was? Right? Because Ahsoka and Padme were thick as thieves.
Yeah.
Right? So
interesting dynamic there.
It has me very curious as to how are you going to do, like, how are you going to show me that I'm so interested. I'm not interested in the saber fight. I've seen it with
I am.
with Vader and Ahsoka. I think it'll be better Anakin and Ahsoka because he's got more dexterity.
Yeah.
But I'm less interested in the fight than I am the dialogue that gets them to the fight.
Right.
Right. I'm more interested in the conversation on Mustafar between those two characters.
The meme ability rehashed.
Do you call her Snip? Does he call her Snips? Like, does he know the shit that like stabs at her and antagonize her, right? To get her to make the first move. Like, I'm so interested in the dialogue leading up, much like I was so interested in the dialogue between Kenobi and Anakin in that moment. Like, that was my big brother talking to me.
Yeah.
You know, you're lost. That kind of shit. That's the kind of shit you tell your little brother, right? And so I get goosebumps thinking about that dialogue that they're gonna have with Ahsoka. And then Rosario looking through a mirror would make it more impactful, like having her in the corner of the shot, like looking through the mirror with just her like, oh, there's so much they can do. I'm so pumped. This show has me so excited. I've been on such a content give a fuck right now.
A little bit of a hiatus.
It's just I'm so tired of the divide.
Well, that's never gonna go away.
No, just in the moment. Like this year's divide has really kicked me in the balls a little bit and kind of deflated my tires.
Yeah.
I was so excited at the beginning of the year, and they just kind of put an asterisk next to the year, and it kind of bums me out because this was a great year for Star Wars.
Yeah, remember all the talks. This is the year of Star Wars.
This
is when it's all gonna come down, and like, oof.
I mean, it was. I mean, think about it. Visions was really a good take. They gave us a new idea on a couple ideas.
Do you remember that live stream we did?
Oh my god,
it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. We're like, God damn it.
Yeah, a couple of them were god damn it. That Bohemian Rhapsody one just made me want to kick myself in the balls.
Tatooine Rhapsody.
Like, can I do this? Hold on, let me try. Can I kick myself in the ball? But and then I mean, I really enjoyed Kenobi. I felt very emotional about Kenobi. I lost a lot of money on Kenobi.
You did lose a lot of money on Kenobi.
I lost like $300 on Kenobi. Boba was fun, but disappointing in the fact that I felt like it was an unfinished. Like I read an essay that they forgot the ending.
Yeah,
it just kind of felt very unfinished.
Well, 2 of the episodes they were like, what are we gonna do? Like, I don't know. Let's go check in with Mando for a while.
It really felt like an episode of Lost when I rewatched it a second and third time. Now, when I watched it together in one sitting, it was a way better sitting.
Yeah.
Than watching it week by week and waiting. It was a way better sitting. But even still, I felt like I was watching the last season of Lost.
Like, just all over the place.
It's all over the place. Like, pick a direction, man. And that's what I was saying about the direct. Everybody was so hyped about Robbie Rod. I was not. Because this is the kind of thing he's great at directing. He's great at directing small bits, not 6 hours worth of content, right?
Yeah.
He's good at a movie, an hour and a half. That's why that Boba episode was so sick, because it was like, here's your bit you get to do. And he was in and out and done. They should have gave it to a Deborah Chow. They should have gave it to a Bryce Dallas Howard. They should have gave it to somebody that wasn't a fanboy. I mean, you and I talked about this a lot in the beginning. Tony Gilroy was a big issue for a lot of people in the beginning because he said, I don't really like Star Wars. I don't really know Star Wars. Everybody was like, look, that guy. And then everybody's like, Robbie Rod does Boba Fett in the backyard. Yeah, right? It's a character. Yeah.
I remember it well.
Everybody was pumped on that. And then Robbie Rod comes out with his stuff, and it was like, everybody's like, oh, poop sandwich.
Yeah.
Right? And then, Tony comes out with his stuff, and everybody's like, dude, for a guy that doesn't know Star Wars, like, all right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I've been saying since Rogue One, like, there was a moment there where I'm like, Bobby Rod is going to save the franchise. We're going to get what we need. And then I watched like 2 episodes of Boba Fett, and I'm like, what are we doing here?
Well, and what happened? Right. Like, it was supposed to be him and Favreau. And this is the problem I have with the god everybody calls Favreau, right? Is like, I feel like that was Favreau and Robbie Rod's show to fuck up, and they did.
Yeah.
Right. And then you go to Tony Gilroy, who's like, oh, I'm going to bring my brother in to write for me, and I'm going to direct, and I'm going to exec produce. And everybody's like, these guys don't know shit about Star Wars.
Yeah. And thank God.
And dude, I mean, I was talking to somebody yesterday. They're like, "Oh, well, Andor kind of sucked." And I'm like, "Have you watched it? Watch Rogue One right after the first season and tell me it doesn't feel awesome. It doesn't feel the same." It's like Tony went and watched Rogue One and was like, "Oh, I could do that shit. I could do that shit. Let's do that."
The only thing they messed up, and I've said this a million times, is like it's not that hard to do Star Wars. Make a good story and then put a Star Wars skin on it. But the Star Wars skin has to be good. And I feel like the only beef, the real beef I have with Andor has been the prop department.
Well, and I mean, and nobody's talking about the shit that we see in the background. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I haven't done the video yet. I've got it. I've got the thumbie made. I've got the title made. I just haven't actually cut the video because I've been in this funk. Anakin, Padme's headdress from when her and Anakin traveled to fucking Naboo is in the background.
Starkiller's armor. Yeah.
Starkiller armor. Well, the prop department did sneak that in from what Tony was saying in an interview.
Yeah, he had no idea what it was.
He's like, I had no idea what the fuck that was. And I'm like, well, great job, prop department, for throwing us a bone, but not a great bone to throw us considering there was no meat on it.
Yeah.
But the rest of the stuff, man, like, I like Luthen. If
Luthen was killer. They should have been the Luthen show.
It was awesome, dude. His dialogue, his ship, his tone, his demeanor. I mean, there's a rumor going around that he's Palpatine's brother, and that he hates Palpatine, and that's why he hates the Empire so much, and he's working against him. I'm like, I don't care. That dude.
I don't know if I like that.
I don't care. That dude is awesome. His ship was badass. I mean, oh, there's a tractor beam. Just throw a bunch of metal junk at it. It'll like, it's a giant magnet. Like, the dude is so goddamn smart. But I want to know where his ship came from.
He's got that Thrawn-esque feeling to him from the other side. Like, he's always one step ahead. The way he was talking to Saw Gerrera, like, you don't punk Saw, and he punked Saw.
Yeah, he kind of told Saw how it is, and I love that because Saw Gerrera is just like a loose cannon.
You don't fuck with that guy.
Well, and he played him. He didn't just like show him. He played him. He's like, oh yeah, your boy right here is my spy.
Yeah,
like,
tubes.
Making him not trust anybody. Like, wait, who, what? Like, he played him so well, and Saul's not a guy that's often played, right? And I love how accurate the character was leading into Rogue One.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's
got to die.
Well, and he's mad. Like,
he's got to die because he wasn't in Rogue One.
Didn't he? Wasn't
Luthen?
No. Oh, Luthen. Oh yeah, Luthen's got to die.
Yeah.
I think Luthen dies in Andor's arms, to be honest.
Ooh.
I think that's why he turns so sour. Right? He's like, I finally found somebody like me. I finally found somebody that thinks like me and acts like me. Like, because that's, for me, that's the last scene in Andor.
Two lone wolves.
Was like, I saw him. I don't need to follow him. I know where you're going. I know where you hide your ship on this planet. So he goes and he waits for him, right? That's the shit I'm talking about. It was such great writing. It was such great directing, and it was such great acting. Like, how I hope the second season is as good as the first season.
I hope it's as good and they pick up a little more on the action.
Yeah, it was slow because you had to build characters and you had to do this show, the whole thing. But I feel like from another side, that's what I love about Star Wars, is you can look at it from somebody else's lenses.
Yeah.
And this was a cool take on the basic building of the rebellion. Right? The bare bones, how it started, how the Empire pissed these different people off. And then you get to, this. I mean, this Ahsoka show is going to be, I can't see how Dave lets it get fucked up.
You haven't been watching Star Wars long
enough.
No,
but Venus, he's on set. He's the one there. Like, it's not like he's checking in with Dave and Bobby Rod, right? Like, hey, how's it going down here? Cool. We're gonna shoot a few scenes with you. Okay, bye. I'm going back to the lab.
Yeah.
He's on set for the whole thing, right? That's where I feel like is the different take, is that it's his character. It's not like Boba that was a rehash.
Yeah.
This is his character. This is something that he's vested a lot of time in, this character. And I think this might be his release. Like, this might be his chance to, like, let it all go. Like,
Right.
here's all the shit I've been hiding in my pockets and hiding in my vest and under my hat. Like, I've got all these secrets you guys don't know about. And this is, I feel like, and it seems like she's the anchor through time also. Right? Like, I think that's a big part of what he's doing with her is everybody else dies.
Yeah.
Right? Leia dies. Or I'm sorry, Leia dies, Luke dies. I know you hate those. Han dies, you know, Ben dies. Everybody dies except this lost Jedi, this not Jedi, this messenger of the Force. I don't really even understand how to really describe her because she's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
She's in the Clone Wars, she's in the Empire time, she saw everything that's going on. Like, there's just so much. I don't know. And where does Sabine, like, when do we see Sabine? Like, there's so many other characters that we're gonna see. Nobody's talking about that story.
Yeah.
We're only
There's
hearing
definitely she bridges a gap for sure. There's like these unknown times that really haven't been explored at all. And yeah. She's there.
Yeah, well, and you know, I've seen these little videos where it's like the data pad when Anakin picks up when he's in Padme's apartment, right? You know, he's checking on Ahsoka's status on Mandalore, right? Like that kind of those kind of tidbits you've seen, and then you know we see in the Clone Wars, you know, it seemed like Ahsoka felt when Anakin was gone, right? Like, oh, I can't feel him anymore. Yoda talks about that shit all the time in Rebels. Like, I couldn't feel you, and now I can. So, like, stepping away from the light and all that, it seems like Ahsoka's in a very different place when we see her in Rebels, right? And I'm curious if they're going to give us any more of this Tales of the Jedi stuff.
I'm down with it. I mean, I think I enjoyed the Dooku stuff a lot more than the Ahsoka stuff.
Well, but how? Because we haven't had a lot of Dooku.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I think
we got the books.
The books, but I mean, we haven't got a lot of his adventures on screen where it's just him. He's always been kind of a side character, right? Where you're the Emperor's hand or you're this or that, but you never got to really see his relationships with the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Because he was not there until he was there, right? Like, it wasn't we didn't get to see him as a Jedi in the first movie in
Training Qui-Gon, any of that stuff,
right? But seeing him with Qui-Gon right before Qui-Gon dies, like, oh my god, that hit me right in the feels, dude. Like,
that was crazy. He was like, and that for me, that's like the kind of stuff. If you're gonna go back in time and you're gonna address something, add to the story. Don't don't F it up. Add to the story. Yeah.
Don't retcon. Add.
And he's like, I'm trying to tell you guys something's going on here, and nobody believes him. And then his apprentice dies, and he's like, "Fuck you, I'm out."
Right. Well, yeah, and basically, and I mean, it's very. You know, it's that old Qui-Gon, so I love that. It's that old wise Qui-Gon right before he goes to his death on Naboo. But then, you know, you see Dooku erase the archives. For me, that was the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right? Watching him use Sifo Dyas's code was sinister, man.
Yeah,
brilliant. Just brilliance. Like checking over his shoulder, making sure like that episode for me was just filling in those gaps of like, well, who erased Camino? God damn it!
Yeah.
Right? Like, who was it really? Was it Sifo Dyas or was it
Sereno?
You know, yeah. I mean, who was it? So for me, it was a really awesome addition. I didn't like the last Ahsoka tales. The first two I really enjoyed.
Yeah, we had some mixed feelings about that. But if you hadn't read the books,
yeah,
it's kind of it's quick. It's a quick adaptation, essentially.
It's a good adaptation. I mean, the whole burning farms and that whole thing, but watching him turn into a pile of dust, that kind of didn't like that. That was very like Kenobi-ish, and I didn't really like that. It would have been cool if that had been like, I mean, the only way I could see that being even remotely entertaining and possible is like if Palpatine was using the Force to hold that shit up. I don't know. There's so much, like, I didn't like that whole like Kenobi in the dust thing. That for me, that was the one take on that. I was like, she should have cut him in half. Why
Yeah.
couldn't I see her cut him in half?
Where's the explosion? Where are the crystals? Where's all the
That's
stuff we wanted?
that's the part that pissed me off.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's the part that pissed me off. Is it's like Dave, if I wanted you to hold one thing true to the book, I don't care about anything else but that goddamn song and those goddamn crystals.
Yep.
I needed to see that shit. And I don't know if maybe that's why we have a young Ahsoka on the show, so he can show us some of this stuff, because I think that's something a lot of people want to see.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people want to see the moment she does her she yields her new lightsabers. I think that's a big part of it. And I think we got robbed. What's adding one more tiny scene after the credits on that with just her putting her sabers together?
Yeah.
Like, what do you lose? It's almost like that Luke scene in
The
Jedi.
deleted scene. Yeah, yeah.
Why wouldn't
Why
you
not
add
put that
that
in there?
Why wouldn't you add that? I mean, I get it. You don't have the technology that you have today, so you couldn't have Luke doing this maybe as good as you could today, right? So he's like, but the reason I did like it, and I think they should have kept it in there, is because it's so Anakin, right? Like tinkering with a screwdriver on his sabers to make this adjustment. Like, that's so Anakin. It's so mechanical. It's so like father, like son. Why wouldn't you keep that in there?
Yeah.
It's such an easy scene that adds so much context. Because then you're like, oh, Luke did orchestrate this whole thing. Look, X-Wing's there, the Falcon's there, everybody's here. He sends the droids on. Like, that sets up the scene. I know they didn't want Luke Skywalker on camera until later when he shows up as the bat. You know, is he good? Is he bad? Is he choking motherfuckers? Is he going to kill everybody? Like, you don't know where he's at. But I feel like that scene just would have added so much more context to the plan.
Yep.
Right. When Lando says, hey, stick text to Chewie, he's got a plan, or, oh, I've got a plan. Like, really? You kid? You got a plan?
And then it richens the moment in the end when Vader's turning the saber over in his hands and he's like, you've completed your saber.
Right. Like, oh, this looks a lot like this is a lot like I would build, right? Like, it's just, it added so much more to the experience than taking away. And this is what I hope they do with Ahsoka in this show. We were robbed of that scene. As readers of these books, as somebody who agreed to commission this book, you guys couldn't use one pearl. They're plucking out shit from every other goddamn storyline in the fucking EU, right? And Legends, you can't give my lady E.K. Johnson a fucking bone, bro. You couldn't throw her a fucking pearl. Dude,
they'll probably do it in live. If I had to guess, they'll do it in live action because look, they need to sell those legacy sabers. I mean, not that they're having a problem selling them, but
no, they are not.
Yeah.
Well, and that Obi-Wan set, I want that Obi-Wan set bad.
Yeah.
I want that Obi-Wan set so bad. It's so sick. I love that they
3 of them, right?
Yeah, it's his Padawan,
episode 1, episode 2, and then the Obi-Wan one.
His master saber in Jedi, or in A New Hope.
Yeah.
So I'm very, because that's something I had to learn. I thought it was the same saber that he took from when he killed Anakin, but obviously it was a master saber.
Yeah.
So, this show is. I'm curious if we're going to see any Obi-Wan. Like, if they're like, not just Hayden. We know Hayden's back. Everybody's excited about Hayden. I'm excited about Hayden. I hope they do a better de-aging. I think they will, being as it's Dave's show. I want to know, are we going to get to see some more of Ewan? That's what I want to know.
I would have to imagine, probably, yeah. And if you're gonna go back to Mustafar, you're gonna rehash those things. Like, dude, if you don't fucking nail it, I mean, Star Wars fans are twitchy right now, really twitchy.
Oh yeah, I've been watching all of your guys' streams on the state of Star Wars and the State of the Union and the Union of Star Wars and all this crazy shit that everybody's doing, and
we're twitchy.
Everybody's twitchy. I've taken a back seat and kind of let the train. I've been watching the train go by. I stepped off the train for a minute. I let like 15 cargo things go by, and I'm like, okay, let me
take a breath.
I don't know whose stream I was watching, and I was like, man, it's tough out there. It's really tough out there. But when I go into the Muggle world, it's not. It's only tough for us, to be honest. It's only tough for the people that are making content. It's only tough for the people that are ultra sweaty. Because when I was on the lot, I wear a lot of my own shit. I don't wear other people's logos anymore. Yeah. So I wear like this. I wear like my campaign ones. I wear my lightsaber Luke and my Jedi Leia and all that. And a couple of people stopped me in the middle of the street and were like, "What do you think of Andor?" And I was like, "That's just dope." And we had like hour-long conversations in the middle of a parking lot after work.
Yeah.
Just because people are digging the content.
Mhm.
And I found so much more of that in the Muggle world than I did here.
Well, that's the thing, man. A lot of this stuff really it's super normie friendly. And it's super divisive for sweaties. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was it's a trip to be out there and to wear this stuff, and then people stop you and they're like, "Oh, what'd you think of this?" Or, "Oh, you know, what about this and what about this?" And then you look down and it's an hour later and I'm like, "Oh shit." I mean, I gave away a bunch of shirts.
Should have been filming.
I yeah, right. I started stashing a clothing box, a merch box in my trunk.
Nice.
Because anytime anybody compliments a shirt, I'll be like, "Hold on, let me go grab one out of the car for you."
Nice.
Right. And so I've started doing a lot of that just because people are like, "Man, I love that shirt." And I'll be like, "All right, let me get you one. I'll bring it after lunch." And they're like, "Oh, shut up. That's awesome."
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's crazy how the sweaties and the content creators are going nuts. Like it's full on donkey balls out here. It's crazy. And then you go to the Muggles, and the Muggles are like, "Oh, this is great. I love this new Star Wars stuff. It's fantastic."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay, well then fucking watch it so that the watch hours aren't such crap, and you can have these people stop talking crap about the watch hours."
Yeah.
I was excited they put Andor on Hulu.
Yeah. A lot of people saw that as like a weak move.
I see. I didn't. I thought Disney is using all their platforms.
Yeah.
Right? Like because they know not everybody has Disney Plus. They know not everybody's going to spend the money to have Disney Plus, and they're like, "We want this show out there.
Yeah.
We want people to see this show on more than just this paid service." So a lot of people have Hulu, and they were like, "You know what? Let's release it on Hulu for a little bit and see how the numbers are." I think it's a great exercise. Why not?
It's a test, right?
Absolutely.
And if nothing else, it's going to drum up maybe some extra viewership for season 2.
Well, and if nothing else, maybe maybe after the shows have released and they've been out for a while, what a great opportunity to use your other platform to see the interest of Kenobi, to see the interest from not just the people that are paying for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It's been out for a while. Let's see how it does on Hulu, because more viewers watch Hulu, especially with sports being on Hulu now. All the other channels are bringing their content. It just seems like more eyes could get on the show on Hulu than on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So I'm curious because, I feel like that was a great exercise, and we own everything.
Yeah,
Put it
they
somewhere
really
else
do.
and let's see what it does. I mean, fuck, man.
Yeah.
The mouse owns everything.
Yep.
Sports, ESPN Plus, guess what? Disney, Hulu, Disney, right? I mean, they own everything. So
Yeah, DMED, the Disney Media Entertainment Distribution. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, like, you look at the list of the shit they own, and it's like, oh, so pretty much everything.
You wouldn't believe how much the mouse owns. It's amazing how much, if you really look at that umbrella company, it's insane. And I thought it was a good move. I thought, what a great move. It's done, made its run. It's gotten the viewership it's going to get on the initial blast on Disney Plus. Keep it there, but put it on something else to see if the Muggles like it. Because again, the people that are watching Disney Plus are us and people with kids.
Yeah.
Right. So whether you're there for Marvel or you're there for Star Wars or you're there for your kids, whatever the reason is, you're there. But not everybody's going to bank the extra $14 for Disney Plus. So I felt like what a great use of the tools in your bag, because you own it. It's not like you had to go, "Hey, Hulu or Netflix, so we got to work out a deal. How are we going to share the numbers and the money?"
Yeah, exactly.
No, they don't have to do none of that. They go, "Hey, Hulu, we own you. Play this. No money need exchange hands," right? And it's honestly, it's the best business model. It really is. I mean, what great business practice than to say, well, let's see if the Muggles like it, right? Let's see if there's more eyes over there, and if it is, great. Then maybe this is something we do with all our shows. because I would like to see Star Wars have more viewership.
Yeah.
I want to see more people talk about it and be out there and wearing the stuff and doing the stuff, because it's a Star Wars time. This year, this year has been a great year for Star Wars. Next year really has. Without this hype, without Mando, without all of these shows, without this stuff, we wouldn't be getting, look, Patty's movie might be back on the block.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, huh?
Wonder Woman taking a dive. With
no, what a shame.
Another DC project in the shitter. No.
Oh, no.
Right, first the Flash with our boy Ezra,
Psychopath Miller.
and then this, it just seems like it would be a good opportunity for her to come back and make her movie for 2025, because it's not going to come out in the next 2 years.
No.
So let hers be first, because she's been back and forth with it. But it seems like a pipe dream, but it seems more realistic with, Cleopatra went away, 1984 went away. They're changing the DCU.
Yeah.
So
I think she's got all the time in the world right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I don't understand there's an argument that there's so much, well, there's scheduling conflicts. Like, no.
Not anymore.
No, they're not
anymore. Well, she did an interview also saying that she was going to, or that everything was still
on the table. Yeah.
But that they just took they just scooted to the side of the table until it was time. And it's like, well, Cleopatra went away, 84 went away. It seems like your schedule's wide the fuck open.
Yeah, that memo said that it had never stopped production. I think I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that. Yeah, Rogue Squadron never actually stopped production, but
which would be smart to keep a writing room going on that.
Yeah.
I mean, if your biggest holdup is director commitment, then I would keep that writing room and bank that script for when the person you want to do it is ready. So hopefully they were continuing to prop design, set design, character design, writing, all that shit while she was off trying to make Wonder Woman. And, hopefully Patty can come in and just show us something we've never seen before, because I feel like that's what that movie was geared towards.
It was Top Gun Star Wars.
Top Gun. I mean, granted, Tom Cruise already made Top Gun Star Wars with Maverick 2.
I mean, that was pretty much the trench
run. But it would be awesome to see again, just a different set of lenses on the Star Wars universe. And that's what I'm liking about Tony Gilroy, is maybe we need fresher directors.
Yeah.
Maybe we need fresher showrunners. Maybe these, except for Bryce Dallas Howard, I think she is due for a big one. I think she is so clocked in to Star Wars that I think she's ready for a big show of her own, or a big movie of her own.
Leslie Headland.
I mean, we'll see.
Did you see the leaked pictures for Acolyte?
I did. They look kind of what's the word I'm looking for? What's the show I'm looking for? It looks very cheesy.
Yeah, it's cosplay-y.
It's very, that's it. It's very Star Wars Celebration is how I felt looking at that. I was like, oh, I saw that costume in Celebration, right? But we'll see. I mean, again, if it's an Acolyte, if the Acolyte is a Night Sisters show, if it's showing us a different side of the Force, then cool. If it's a Sith show, cool. I'm still very curious what they're going to give us with that.
Yeah.
I think that's so far out of the realm of what's coming right now. What I really want to know, and what I really want to know your opinion about, is, are we going to see the Empire kill Genji in Bad Batch Season 2? Is Star Wars at the point now where we're chopping off heads in Mando? Will we see the Empire capture, torture, and or kill Genji?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
That's awesome. I hope so. I really do. I mean, I would really like to see. I mean, look, I love the character, but all Jedi for the most part have to die.
Yeah.
So if you
can't keep them alive. They keep adding to the roster of people who survived Order 66, and it downplays so much like the dire need for the new Jedi, A New Hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
well, and yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, where's the Youngling Slayer 9000? I feel
right
like if Ahsoka survives, Kanan survives, and Cal survives, right? Those are the three big additions to the surviving members aside from Obi-Wan and Luke, Leia, and Yoda. But who else? I mean, is there anybody else? I can only think of those real three.
okay.
Ahsoka, Kanan, and Cal are the three we know that survive.
And
now,
oh god, why can't I think of his name right now? He's
and now
he
Gingy.
had the orange paint.
Oh, oh, you bastard.
Why can't I think of his name right now? He was written on the wall in Kenobi.
No, and I could see him in my face. He's got the two lines.
Yeah, yeah.
Almost the Native American look. Not
Quinlan Voss. There we go. Thank you.
God,
Thank you, Stanley.
Thank you, Stanley's. Jiminy Christmas.
It's too
Quinlan
early.
survived. I mean, I agree. It kind of does take away from it does take away from what Order 66 was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like especially in Kenobi, watching them kill that Jedi in the middle of town square and hang his body from the middle of the town, it shows the ruthlessness of the Empire towards the Jedi. And that's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's another Jedi that survived.
Right. But they hunt.
What's her name?
But they hunt. That's also the big part I loved about the Kenobi show is it shows the hunt for Jedi. Right? Like, yeah, okay, we didn't get them all in the net the first time. I get it. We got a lot of them. We didn't get all of them in the net the first time. Let's go hunt. And it showed the hunt because that's what they're supposed to do. I mean, we see it in Rebels. They're literally on Kanan and Ezra's ass every day, all day. It seems like that's what they're there for. And I like that. Oh, there's a surviving Jedi. Boom, get him, kill him, hang him, take his lightsaber, stuff it up his butt. We're done. Right? Like
Jesus.
They're ruthless, dude. They're ruthless. I love the ruthlessness of the Inquisitors. I love that they just stabbed one of their own and left her for dead. Like, yes, that's how ruthless those people are. Like, I'm going to cut your hand off for talking back. Yes, I love the ruthlessness of the Inquisitors. And I love that they're hunting. That's the part that I enjoy the most is like Cal, they're on the hunt. Just because he beat him a couple times doesn't mean you automatically get away. My question is, how are they going to kill Cal Kestis? Right? How are they going to kill Seer? Right? Like there's
another one. Yeah.
Right.
John.
Again, it's adding to it, but at the same time, we only ever focused on this core group of people, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing about Star Wars is it was always focused on this core group, but then you hear, well, there were 10,000 Jedi. Well, not every Jedi was with a rebel or with a clone battalion, right? So not every Jedi was on the same mission of war. So some of the scientists that were on off-world, some of the undercover people that were doing other shit, they wouldn't have got hemmed up so much, I guess.
Yeah.
And so for like Cal got rescued by his master. You get these younglings again, and that's something the Inquisitor says in the beginning of Rebels is all that's left is the children of the Force. The Jedi are pretty much gone. Now it's the next generation. And that's more of what we're seeing, right? Ezra, Cal, Ahsoka was still a child then, so really only the children survived. The Quinlan, I think, and Seer were kind of two of the Jedi that were
older.
Seer escaped. So she did get caught up. She escaped. Quinlan, I would love to hear Quinlan's story.
Yeah.
He's such a talked about Jedi, but we never really get to see him in action other than like a cartoon episode here or there. I would really like to see a live action Quinlan. So even though it was a weird year, it still put Star Wars back on the pedestal for legit content again. Yes, not everything's perfect. Of course, Marvel had a shitty year also. Marvel had a shit show year. So
Phase 4
was tough for a lot of people for Marvel.
Phase fail.
Loki was great. There were a couple of good shows in there,
I
but
like Loki. Yeah.
ultimately it didn't hit the way that they were hoping it was going to. And I think if I had to make a decision, I think Star Wars won this year. I think Marvel has been ahead the last couple of years, last 5 years. I think this was a win for Star Wars over Marvel this year.
I don't know. I feel like nobody won this year.
I mean, She-Hulk alone puts Star Wars in the column, dude. I'm sorry. I was into it until the last episode.
I was out of it on the first episode.
When you let the character start changing, I did like that they made fun of the leader at Marvel.
Yeah, the Feige bot.
With a Feige bot. I did like that, but aside from that, the whole finale just threw me out. I was done. I was out. Fuck you. But you know, even Chillmonger, who's a big Marvel guy, I mean, Star Wars won this year. That's it. If it's a win-lose, there's no grade, just a win-lose. Star Wars won this year, and I think Star Wars will win next year also. So,
well, if Star Wars won and it was Marvel and Star Wars slugging it out, Star Wars barely walked out of the room.
Look, I'm not saying this was an in regulation win. This was like double overtime to shootout.
Yeah.
Like this was like the goalie messed up in the shootout. It wasn't a big victory, wasn't a crowning victory, but they did win. You know, and look, I mean, Loki was the best part. It you know, Marvel still lost. It's just the way it is, you know. I mean, sometimes and in the Disney camp, I'm sure that's contentious between the two organizations at the table.
Well, actually, if we're talking about the Disney camp, James Cameron won. Just outright.
Well, yeah, you saw it. How was your movie?
Loved it.
Yeah?
Oh, I loved it, dude. And I don't care. Like, I'm getting flamed by people for being like, this fucking movie's awesome. I'm getting flamed for it. And I don't care. I don't give a shit. Like, that is a solid movie. Is it tropey? Yes. I love it. I don't care.
Well, but again, that's the feeling we have for Star Wars. Sometimes you're gonna love it, sometimes you're gonna hate it. The sequels are never as good as the originals, right?
I don't know, dude. This one, and it'd be interesting. Like, do a little Twitter scrolling today. Even for some of the saltier people, man, they're like, the second one's better than the first one.
Oh, that's see, I to be honest, the first one was good. I watched it a couple times, but I didn't really geek out on it. I was like, cool. I like this out of body experience. I like this Freaky Friday feel to it. But to me, it was just another war movie with different color characters.
Oh, dude, I was geeked out.
Right. But this, I mean, I like the idea of, I like the, you know, the father and son aspect. I know I was watching Drunk's take on it, and he was like, I love the father and son aspect. And I watched some of your stuff last night before I fell asleep. You know, and I know a lot of people that were really hyped for it, really loved it.
Yeah.
And I think the Muggles were kind of like, is this what all the hype was about?
Which is not good, because that movie needs to make so much goddamn money.
I still think it'll clear 200 million.
Yeah.
In whatever they rank it on, the first weekend or the first week or whatever. I still think it'll clear 200 just because the hype behind it. And everybody loves James Cameron and everybody loved the original Avatar. I think it will do its numbers, but I'm curious to see the longevity like the first one, because the first one everybody was crazy about even years after.
Yeah.
Right. I'm very curious to see if this one holds the same attention span.
I don't think it will, because it was such a novelty on the first one, you know?
I mean, the first one was literal cinematic change, right? Like James Cameron did stuff that like he does, you know, Titanic.
Every movie he does.
Every movie he does is like, he's changing something in cinematics every single time he does it. And with Avatar, that was a huge leap.
Yeah.
That was those facial cameras where they're out here looking at you, capturing your
all mocap.
Yeah, that stuff was cutting edge back then. And he killed it then. So mastering it now, I'm really interested to see how much further the technology has gotten and how much better, because the first one was masterful.
Yeah.
Like, he changed technology when he made that movie. It was amazing. If people were using mocap before, he wrote a symphony on how to do it and showed everybody how to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm really interested. All right, I'll find. So yeah, I mean, I think it's very, yeah, right. It was a lot easier the other way when.
Good morning.
Well, yeah, and I never do morning streams. Usually it's Chillmonger in the morning is doing streams, but I just had to get on this I just had to get on this Ahsoka train. I was I like the actress. I like the look. I think you could put her next to Rosario and they look like a DH version of one
Yeah.
another.
Yeah.
I really want to see her in some test makeup.
Yeah, me too.
I really want to see her with some orange and some, show me some set leaks of her in costume, just in the makeup chair. I don't need to see on set. Just show me her in the makeup chair. That's because once she's in full costume,
red robes.
I don't think you're going to be able to tell them apart, dude.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think you're going to be like, is this your real daughter? But yeah, it's no, I'm not hungover. It's just 7 a.m. West Coast. He
doesn't drink.
Oh yeah, I don't drink, so no, not hungover.
I'm a little hungover.
Just tired. Well, it was Friday night. I'm sure you were hanging out. You were hanging out doing Avatar late night. You like to drink on the late night.
Did you say Avatarted?
I didn't, but I like it better.
That's a new phrase, and I'm keeping it.
I did not say that, but I love it now. But yeah, you guys were having a good time on the late night. I know you brought in Jay, and you guys were geeking out and drinking and having a good time. So yeah, I didn't expect you to be up this early. When I saw you,
I was in bed when you sent me the message.
I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, I'm up. I was up at 6, so I was building thummies and once I saw this in my inbox, I was like, damn it. Now I got to get up and do this. I haven't done anything all week. I've been playing video games, getting up to level 75 in DMZ,
living that comfy life.
Oh, I needed a break. I was worn out and beat up from work. I was like, I need to just kill people online for a little bit. Like
sometimes that's all you need, man.
Dude, Fortnite has been so therapeutic. Killing younglings in Fortnite has been so therapeutic and really upped my first-person shooter gaming. I might actually try Battlefront again because I'm better at first-person shooter now.
Battlefront, that's a whole different demon, man.
I know. I might actually try it again because I was so bad at it before because I was awful at first-person shooters or any shooter. And now I feel like Fortnite and DMZ have really upped my game. I might try it again. When Matt Cave does more of his Battlefront streams, I might actually get in because only reason I don't is because I'm so bad at it.
Yeah.
I'm so bad. So
my heavy class is like 180 or something. Oh, it's way too high.
Way too high. Are you going to play Fallen Order again before Jedi Survivor comes out?
I don't know because it's far enough away from me now that I don't have expectations for Survivor.
I mean, it's 3 months. That's nothing.
Yeah. So what I mean is Fallen Order is far enough away from me now. It's been so long since that I've played it that I don't have expectations. So I kind of want to go into Survivor fresh. So I'm not like, fuck, I wish they would have brought this back, or this feels different here.
Yeah, I think I just got to get the game controls back before I jump in on stream. I think I might do some of the like dojo stuff.
Yeah, the combat scenarios.
Just to get the adaptation of controller back.
Have you played the master mode on that?
It's hard as fuck, dude.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
I get killed by the animals. The Bogo, what is it? The Bogdan?
Yeah,
the hardest boss on the game when you're in master mode. I swear I can't kill that thing. So yeah, it's really, really hard on master.
I don't know if I made it past the train, I'll be honest with you. Or like I made it past the train and then started the next level and then I was like uninstall. Like I'm done.
I got to Bogano and I was like, nah.
It was Bogano. Yeah.
The animals were killing me in like 2 punches. And I was like, and I was parrying and doing all that stuff. And it was like, you're dead.
Imagine a fucking stormtrooper at this level, or one of the shock troopers,
bro.
Yeah,
like the Inquisitors will mess you up.
Yeah,
like hiya, and you're done.
The spiders, Kashyyyk would have been a nightmare on master mode.
Oh my god, dude, the spiders. Yeah. No, and what were the big claw, like the almost, they were like baby rancors almost.
Oh, the fat guys on Ilum. Yeah,
dude. The so hard in regular mode. On master mode, I would just try to avoid everybody. I would be like running.
Truly Jedi Survivor. Just like fuck.
Where's the waypoint? Where's the waypoint? Right? Like it's so hard. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I think next year is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for Bad Batch season 2. I want to see where they go with this. I got a hot take and I'll share it with you because I haven't really shared it with anybody. I think Wolf, Gregor, and Rex kill Cody. and that's why they ostracize themselves to the middle of nowhere. I think Rex kills a homie.
Bro,
in
that's
the
a
heat of
nuclear
battle.
take.
Yeah, that's my nuclear take for Bad Batch. I think that Rex, Gregor, and Wolf kill Cody, and that's why they remove themselves from everything.
Just go live as mobile hermits on that ATTE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so, because it's just, I mean, they decommissioned all the clones at some point, but
yeah,
I would like to see that be why Rex is so damaged, right? Why he had to get away from the fight, right? Because he was, the thing that people forget is he was very instrumental in the fight, right? The sisters and Rex are basically the start of the rebellion, right? They're starting to acquire the tactical droid's head. They're starting to go on these little missions. They're getting Gregor out. They're doing this stuff. And then all of a sudden Rex is like, sorry, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. It has to be something so tragic. It has to be something that damages him psychologically and emotionally to remove him from the war, to remove him from the rebellion. And the only thing I could think of would be killing your brother, like your literal brother. Like, those two were basically together the entire Clone War. Like, those were the generals for the masters, right? Like, those were the commanders for the two top ranked generals.
It holds water.
I really hope it happens, because I know we're going to see Cody and I'm excited for it, but I would really like to see Rex be the one that puts the blaster bolt through Cody and then tells his guys, we're done. We shouldn't be fighting against clones. We're done. We fought our war. And then walks away. And I would love to see that conversation without Ahsoka present.
Just Rex and Cody.
Just Rex and Cody, or just Rex and the 4 clones.
Yeah.
And Cody goes to make the move for his blaster, and Rex is just too fast.
Drops his ass.
And then just like Fives, that same scene as Fives, where he held Fives as good soldiers follow orders.
Yeah.
I would love to see that scene with Cody and Rex. And that's what breaks Rex wanting to be a soldier. Like, we're done. We're out.
I like it. I like that.
Shit. We're out of here. That's my nuclear take. That's the one that I've been hiding in my pocket.
That works for me.
And I brought it out just for you, buddy.
I accept these terms.
I accept these terms. Accepted. Anything you got coming up? I got
Not really, man.
I got some new shit. I'm going to show you. I haven't showed anybody yet. I bought a 3D printer.
Ooh.
I bought a 3D printer. It's not perfect. I'm having to figure it out. There's a large learning curve.
It's a big learning curve for 3D printing. Shivi's going to be a good guy to talk to for that.
But we've been talking, but I'm building.
That looks like the top of Ezra's saber.
An Ezra Bridger lightsaber.
Very nice. The print lines don't look bad at all.
No, there's a couple, like this one I'm going to have to figure out and redo, because you can see it's kind of a little needled, but these pieces came out really good so far.
Are you doing an acetone bath for them, or are you just going to try to rub and buff?
I haven't even thought of that far. I'm just trying to get the pieces to print where they're not awful.
Yeah, I hear you.
Changing the positions of them. But I figured my first project would be fun. And so I am actually building Ezra's lightsaber.
That'd be dope.
That's that's something new. I'm going to do a small series on 3D printing lightsabers and stuff like that, blasters, things like that. I'm gonna try to print and see how they come out. But
dude, if you do a good E11, let me know, because I have a bag that I ordered from a 3D printer for an E11, and the instructions are like, go online to look at the instructions, and it's like all the pieces are wrong, and so you go to put it together, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
And I found here, I'll share this real quick. I found this website, and this guy made
Thingiverse, yeah.
This guy made the lightsabers, and his are beautiful.
Yeah, it's stellar.
His are beautiful.
I'd put a little bit higher shine on that handle if it were me.
Well, that's why I did this, like this kind of.
Yeah. And you can spray it. I mean, I have some of that ultra chrome paint. That stuff is phenomenal.
But if it comes out looking even anything like this, I'm fucking down. I am so down. Mine do not look like that yet.
Right.
But I mean, that's the breakdown I'm working on. So I've been talking to Steve about it, and yeah, just practice and figuring out the best way that they print this, that, or figuring out that shit. But I mean, I'm trying new shit. I'm having fun. That's what I did all week. That's why I wasn't streaming all week. I was literally 3D printing my ass off. So yeah, dude, I'm trying different shit. I'm trying to have fun in different ways, and this is another way. I was like, oh, I can make Star Wars stuff with this. This is great. So yeah, I've wanted to try it. I got a real world thing I'm working on, but that's something cool. I was like, man,
We have to justify it, right? You have to justify something.
In my brain, I have to justify. I mean, this profile, this piece right here is my favorite so far.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do the copper and all the different colors. But yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It's been a while since we've chatted. Thanks for hanging out. I was gonna do a little solo for a bit, but yeah, I didn't think anybody'd be up. I saw your late night when I went to bed, and I was like, I'm too tired. I can't.
Yeah, I did too, actually. I was right at the end there. I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed.
I can't. I gotta stop. But yeah, dude, it's an exciting time. I think next year will bring a lot more happiness to the Star Wars fandom. So
you need happiness in your asshole.
You need it. It's very important. So yeah, I mean, everybody get down and like and share. Get over to X-Wing and subscribe. We want to get him to his charity number so he can do his charity stream at 10,000 one day. So if you haven't, get over there and subscribe. Again, big congratulations to Coffee on Korriban. He has been like a lightning rod,
murdering it
very well, putting out amazing content. Get over to the Matt Cave for gaming. That dude is doing so much fun retro stuff. Who else is out there? You know, the Echo Base, Hawks Holocron is starting a new channel. We're working on some artwork. That dude should be doing Viber. He's so fucking talented. And yeah, dude, everybody is doing really good content right now. I want people to get over the Matt Cave real bad. That dude is putting out content.
He deserves so much more
every day. Seriously, dude, he's putting out content every day.
Yeah.
Every single day he's putting out content. It should be getting way more views. So yeah, if you're not subscribed over there, and most of the people are, if you're catching the stream for the first time, get over there, give him a subscription. He's earning it every day, making content.
Such a better YouTuber than all of us.
Dude, he's putting together content every day. Yeah. I can't bring myself to make content once a week right now, and he's doing it every day for so much longer than I have.
Yeah.
So he should have way more subscribers than I do.
He must have punched a baby or something, like, to piss off the algorithm. He punched a baby.
Like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's out of control. He should be like, he literally every day, whether it's Sonic, whether it's Pong, whether it's Atari, Nintendo, whatever your retro gaming fix is, he's on it. Get over there and check out his stuff. Yeah, man. Fortniting a bunch still. I love my Fortnite. Yeah, I mean, I got his downstairs in the washer and dryer. We did do a new cup for you wine drinkers.
Ooh, I like that.
We did do a new wine goblet. So I've been drinking out of that all week. But yeah, get down to the merch
matching set for Christmas.
We're like matching today. We didn't even plan it.
We actually didn't plan it.
No, we didn't plan it. Get to the merch shop. I'm running a Christmas special. It's 15% off everything in the store. So get over there. I think it's holiday. What is the code? Matt knows the code. It's like holiday 2020 or some 2022 or some shit. Let's see. What is it? It is holidays. Happy Holidays 2022. So get over to the merch shop, get yourself some merch at discounted price for the holidays. We're going to run this all the way until New Year's Day. So everybody can have a chance if they didn't get what they wanted for Christmas and you want something, get it. Yeah, man, that's it. That's all I got for the day. I'm super excited for this young lady to show us some young Ahsoka. I'm curious. The voice is going to piss me off, but I'm very curious what they're going to do. So I would like some re-speecher, dude.
Yeah,
I would like some Ashley mixed in re-speecher would be real fucking cool. Similar to what they did with Anakin and Vader in Kenobi. It was really, really awesome how they did that. So yeah, man, I can't think of anything else. I'm going to go have some breakfast and enjoy the rest of my morning before the workday. So
I got parents coming over today, so I got clean.
ooh, you got to clean your
I gotta
house, girl.
clean.
Well, thanks for coming by, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend. As always, don't forget, spay and neuter your pets, help control the pet population. As always, may the force be with you. Thank you for X-Wing for joining me for first time in a long time. We'll try to do more of this stuff, and you guys have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.